When it comes to reliable automobiles, buying a 1970s Italian sports car is about as prudent as having unprotected sex with a hooker. However, the Ferrari 308 might be one vintage vehicle that won't cause your genitals to fall off. Its unsophisticated engineering means there's no complex paddle gearbox or active suspension. No power steering either. You don't need to pull the engine for the biennial cam belt change, and even the construction of the car is body on frame like a truck. If this idea of affordable Ferrari ownership stimulates you, you'll be even more aroused at the cost to take one home. These days, around $75,000 on average. But despite being one of the cheaper Ferraris, there's certainly no compromise on looks. With its sleek, curvaceous body, it turns more heads than a topless Pamela Anderson. If looks could kill, it would be an axe murderer. So then, it's a Ferrari that's not only simple to maintain, but also simply gorgeous. Unfortunately, however, that's about all it has going for it. Let's talk about the driving experience. The steering wheel position was stolen from a forklift. The pedals were arranged by someone with two right legs. I can't imagine sitting in the seats for longer than 30 minutes. There's no glove box, no center console, no real room in the front trunk either, so if you do need to carry something, where does that leave you? With the spare bit of space behind the engine. And that's fine if you're carrying, say, a grain of rice. But what if you're picking up actual groceries? I mean, they fit, but you're out of luck if you need to carry much more. Even with the storage capacity of a drug mule's anus, you're guaranteed to arrive home for dinner in style. Oh dear. It would seem the heat of the engine has had an adverse effect on my produce. So, it doesn't work as a daily driver. Fine, who cares? The absence of practicality in a Ferrari is like a clumsy waiter at Nobu. It's not ideal, but it doesn't make the sushi any less amazing. The 308's problem is that it's less like an artisan tuna roll and more like an old mackerel. One prominent flaw is the exhaust. With Ferrari's pride being their engines, you'd expect the car to sound like Niki Lauda crossing the finish line and taking home the 1975 World Championship, but when you start it up, you instead get a 1975 truck. Fortunately, when you get on the gas, it sounds less agricultural, but you'd have a hard time convincing Stevie Wonder that this was 3 liters of Italian V8 and not 4 cylinders of hatchback. You'd hope the car's actual performance would alleviate some of the acoustic disappointment, but no. Back in the 1970s, this car was probably very exciting, but so was beige. And while other sports cars of this vintage can still deliver excitement on a twisty canyon back road, I'm afraid to say this isn't one of them. If you try to drive it fast, you'll immediately regret it, because then you'd have to slow down. And when you attempt to, you'll find the 1970s brakes don't work very well. And if you somehow miraculously manage to turn through the corner without crashing into a wall, you'll be disappointed that the non-linear steering response makes it impossible to keep the car centered, and the tires screech like dying eagles because the only way this car gets around the corner is with copious amounts of understeer. The 308 is a cruiser, much more suited for a relaxing Sunday drive up the Pacific Coast Highway. But then again, if you're the type of person who likes to take long, relaxing Sunday drives, why on earth would you buy a car so uncomfortable with air conditioning that doesn't work? You wouldn't. And that's the problem with this car. It's not really good at anything except for looking pretty. If you need a beautiful piece of arm candy to show off in the country club parking lot, it might be your best option. But if you want a driving experience that'll actually put a smile on your face, I'm sad to say it, but I'd keep looking.
Keep looking. It's no use sitting around.